Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the EDF Sports Podcast. We have some very special guests with us today, and I'm going to bring them in right. Hold on. Oh, come on, work with me. You recognize that, right?
Yep.
That'd be our theme song.
I like that theme song. I was listening today while trying to do some homework.
That
I
one
figured
is
I was
so
like, look,
great.
I gotta know something. I gotta hear it. I gotta know what I'm gonna be talking with. You know.
That
I
is
don't know.
so great, though. That one is so killer. Like, is that the first episode right there that you had that theme song
Last week.
last week? Oh, because
Yeah.
you just did one though, right? So
Yeah, we just
That'll be our second episode this week with that particular theme song. Yes.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Shout out to Mr. Chaos Theory Podcast. He hooked us up big time.
Really? Very nice. Well, we want to welcome the Queens Takeover, the Queens of Wrestling. All three ladies. We have Kat up at top, Kayla down at the bottom. I'm going to let you guys do your nicknames because I'll blow them. So I'm not going to go into those. And we have Jolie up there in the corner, who's obviously got a TV going. I love that. I love the room already. I can see all that back there. My kind of room. Okay. If I had this thing turned around, you would see I got the same kind of thing going. The more you have, the better. Okay. I don't think there's any other way around that. So anyway, welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm sorry. As always, we have Jack and we have Liam. And Liam is sporting no jersey today because I guess he figured this was non-appropriate. I figured you'd come out with a wrestling uniform on.
I can't lie. I spent about 10 minutes trying to find my Orange Cassidy shirt, and I would have put on sunglasses too.
See,
Got a world title fight going on. I'm watching the women's championship fight on TV right now.
Really? All right.
Technically, all you would need is a jean jacket for Orange Cassidy, and you would be pulling it off perfectly.
That's
And-
fair.
And then just put those hands out and just stick them in your pocket. You'll be good.
Look, I relate to him perfectly, and I got the shirt when I saw it in stores.
So ladies, why don't you tell us a little bit about the podcast? That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this. Is I happen to think it's very good. I think you guys are three of the most knowledgeable people in this arena that I have witnessed, and I've been happened to watch a lot of them lately. So I just want you guys to know you guys are far above most that I have seen. So tell us a little bit about how it became.
Actually,
Go ahead, Jolie.
it was kind of my idea when we were with a different company.
That shall remain nameless.
They're always nameless, but go ahead.
And I was a part of the wrestling department writing. I met Kat and then I met Kayla on Twitter, and I said, is anybody interested in doing a podcast? And these two ladies said yeah, and then with the pandemic it just went from there. And then I'm basically the Stephen A. Smith of the group.
I love it.
Kat is the MC, and you got Kayla as my I would say she is
Your
my
arch nemesis.
like if I'm Shannon
Jolie?
Sharp, she is Skip Bayless.
Oh my god, this is great.
But less annoying.
Yeah. Oh, definitely less annoying. I don't want to punch her in the face every time. I mean, unlike Skip, I just want to punt. I don't understand how Shannon Sharp doesn't punt his ass half the time.
Don't you love
I
how
did
she
notice
said
when I was
every
listening,
time?
there you have A bombs or F bombs in your back pocket.
Oh God, yes.
For real. That was one of the things we had to do whenever we were starting the podcast and everything. We knocked the E for explicit and everything because yes, we are three women, but
I have no
do we
fucking
go
filter.
off?
Blackbot can't stop you, right?
Fuck no.
No.
I love it. So honestly, then you said the pandemic was so it hasn't been that long.
No, we've only been doing this for a year. We just in February celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and I believe we're almost
I remember seeing that.
we are getting close to our 70th episode. I think that's in a couple weeks. So it's been a very, very long process. I'm the editor, so I do all the editing, and it was all of like they taught me how to use Audacity. I could not pick that up. It kept crashing my computer, so I use Sony Vegas Magic's Movie Studio Plus, and I just do all the audio that way.
Was it Audacity or Odyssey?
Odyssey, whatever the hell that thing it was. It just kept crashing my computer. That's all I know it was a piece of shit.
I was just making sure because I don't like that app either.
Liam, don't make her angry.
Oh no! See, he and I got on a lot. Look, if he's a Philly fan, he knows. He knows right away. It doesn't matter. That's the thing about Philly fans, bro. We're always angry.
Oh, okay, real quick too. Let me get you both are Philly fans. So how did you feel about the popcorn on Wrestle?
I hate it.
I'm indifferent because they made such a big deal out of that, yet somebody spit over Jay-Z and a woman to hit Trey from the Atlanta Hawks in New York. And once something, it doesn't matter what remote thing it was one bad fan. He got a standing ovation when he was leaving the arena with the injury. But I love the fact that he sprung to life and said, oh, it was adrenaline. I don't get adrenaline when shit's thrown at me. I duck and cover.
Can I just say I'm upset, though? Can I just say I'm upset because I thought Russell Westbrook had a little bit of Ron Artest in him, right? I just for a little bit of popcorn, hold me back. You jump into the stand. Show us a wrestling match.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of crazy because I felt like if that's how we are judging now, then Philly fans are in trouble. Like y'all got no hope. You because I mean, popcorn was it. You know, I mean, that's probably the best thing you guys could ever think of throwing at somebody is popcorn.
Oh, sweetheart!
The water bottle thrown at him tonight.
Oh yeah,
snowballs with batteries.
That's right. With the man with the white beard. I mean, come on, everybody.
Okay.
Popcorn.
Look.
Popcorn.
No one likes.
Just literally talked about this an hour ago on the show.
We just recorded this on our show. The jackass that was playing Santa Claus was drunk and harassing children. He got what he fucking deserved. Let it go. If we're gonna talk about
snowballs with batteries, can we go backwards? Snowballs with batteries.
Yeah, I forget what game that was, but people I guess they had electric heaters back, and it was one of the snow games, and the refs pissed somebody off, and all of a sudden people got pelted with snowballs that had batteries stuck in them.
Yeah,
you guys party too hard in Philly for me. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
But I will say this: nobody has been stabbed or shot in our stadium or outside of it. Unlike
that's
Dallas,
a testament to the police force, right there.
Hey, you always have that going for you. Then I mean, you know.
But I mean,
wear a hard hat and you're okay.
Nah, it's a bulletproof vest, bro. I've seen everything. I actually work for the stadium, so I have seen everything. Like when people were talking about the popcorn incident, I'm like, I have seen a full beer get launched from the top row of the 200 level all the way down and hit a player. Sign him.
We could probably do a whole show on things that she's seen at that stadium easily. You know,
girl.
You're like, popcorn's fluffy. What are you guys even complaining about? And maybe that makes Russ soft. Maybe that makes him soft. He got mad over popcorn. Now he gets to feel like how an usher does at a movie theater.
Exactly. You know, the amount of bullshit that event staff has to put through at any stadium, venue, concert, no matter what, we get shit on so bad. And you don't see us complaining or throwing punches. You get paid millions of fucking dollars to play a game.
Take it like a man.
Exactly. Am I upset that it happened? Yes. The guy got banned, and there's rumors that he might be banned from both Citizens and Lincoln Financial Field. Justice was served. Let it go.
Yeah, for real. So ladies,
it is a greater point though that we made. It is only popcorn, it's popcorn. No, I think that's the better direction. We're making a big deal out of popcorn, like a pillow fight.
All right, Jack. If it's that much of a quote unquote big deal, you go do it.
It's popcorn though,
Go do it.
That's
go do it.
I'll let him.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying we're making a big deal over popcorn.
I just stood underneath it.
Oh, smack!
I'm not sure about that.
Like,
I think Zion said he'd do that.
So,
Through popcorn.
so Kat, how did you get into wrestling?
Out of the three of us, I think I was on the later side of everything. It was summer of 2005. My nephew, who was about 10 years old at the time, he came over to my house and we were just kind of chilling around, and he's like going, "Hey, Kat, can I put in this tape?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure." And it turned out to be Vengeance 2005 from that year. And the main event was Triple H versus Batista, Hell in a Cell. And here I am, I'm watching my very first event. It's a Hell in a Cell match. It's like blood, it's chairs, it's tools, it's all over the place. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? And then later on that week, I caught like Raw on TV. I caught SmackDown. And I was like, let me see. Let me take a look at this here and everything. And then it kind of snowballed from there. I started recording the events for my nephew. We ended up going to events together. And it was just kind of like our thing to kind of like bond on and chill out about and everything. And it's still continuing to this day. I mean, we've gone to a lot of the events together. We've gone to 3 of the big 4. We still need to do a SummerSlam together. But yeah, and it's like I was telling him the other day, I was like, I never thought wrestling would just change my life so much, because it's like in the last few years I've been able to like start writing online, and it's like I'm doing a podcast with these two now, and it's just like unbelievable.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
And Kayla, how about you?
I'm not quite. It was about 2006. My mom actually introduced me to the wrestling world. It happened to be when Cody Rhodes debuted with Hardcore Holly. It was just full of action. They had the Randy Orton and John Cena feud going back and forth. It was, I just don't have no words for how exciting it was. I've been to a few shows. I've never been to a pay-per-view. I have been to one AEW Dynamite, which was back in February of last year, which was totally awesome. And next year, WrestleMania is in Dallas, Texas, and since she got me into wrestling, I'm taking my mom. So she's never been to a WrestleMania either. And I know it's going to be one hell of a trip, and it's going to be so much fun. And most of all, I did get to meet 2 of my absolute favorite people in the world, Kat and Jolie. And like, Kat said, you start writing about wrestling, and I saw that coming, but then doing a podcast, hey, it's great to be a wrestling fan. And I wouldn't have it any other way right now.
Very sweet. Very nice. Very nice. And Jolie, how'd you get into it?
Okay, so I will be showing my age here. I actually got into it in about around 1986. My mom, we would go over to my mom's house after church or after going to the farmer's market, and main event would be on. And we would watch main events. And then if I was over on a Monday night, we would watch Raw, or we would watch WCW. They never let me watch ECW. I didn't start watching ECW until I was a lot older. But ECW wasn't really out then. It was like mainly WWF. Then it was WCW, or it was actually WCCW at the time, or NWA, Jim Crockett. So that's when I first got into it, and I was hooked ever since. I mean, I kind of slacked off on it a little bit when I was like in high school, middle school, because, you had that, oh, that's fake. That's so fake. And I mean, I was an athlete in school, so I was doing soccer. I was in the musical, so I really didn't have time to watch it. But like when I got to college, it became a huge part of my life. It became a reason why me and my mom had a relationship, because we bonded over wrestling. And so it was something special that she and I shared, because she hated second-born children. I was second-born. And, my sister could walk on water and do nothing wrong. And, oh, brown eyes, yuck, you're full of shit. True story. But wrestling was one of the reasons why we actually had a relationship. Now, I was able to go to one show in Baltimore. I held a sign up for her. I don't think she saw it though, but I held up a sign for her. And then she actually passed away April 1st during WrestleMania. I had just gotten home to record it, and I was going to take it back to sit in bed with her to watch the next day, but she had passed away that night during the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. So I always remember that. So wrestling has been a big part of my life. I was actually going to go for wrestling school when I was in college, but I was actually bullied out of it because there were no bigger women at the time except for China. And so I was bullied out of it. And I've applied for the writing position at WWE multiple times. I've messaged Cody Rhodes about writing for AEW when it was starting up. But, getting to do this has been a dream come true. We've talked about like the fact that like once we're a little bit more established, we'll be able to get like the press passes, maybe do back behind the scenes, which is something that I absolutely love and adore. And it's just going to snowball from there, and it's just going to make things so much fun.
You know what I find interesting is that the two of you have said that it was your mothers who got you into wrestling. And you usually hear about guys talk about, my dad threw my ball at me, and I think it's pretty neat and amazing that it was your moms who got the girls into wrestling.
It was my grandmother, my mama, my grandmother. That's what I called her.
Okay.
Because it was my mom's mom and my dad's mom was grandmom. So that was the way to separate the two. Now,
Gotcha.
My grandmom got me all into the Philly sports. So it was an even trade.
That's just filtered down in Philly, though, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
It just comes with it.
You're born with that stamp.
Fellas, you got anything you want to ask there?
So for me, yeah, it was just basically what you said. It seemed like it was a family affair for all three. With your nephew, and you running around taking him places, and both of your grandmother and your mother's getting you involved. That's what's great about wrestling, though, right? You get to go there, you get to meet the athletes, and you know what? They're always happy to sign autographs. I always notice, when there's lines up for kids and everything, they'll shake your hand. They're heroes, right? When I was a kid, I used to like Hulk Hogan. I used to like the Macho Man. Their promos were fantastic. I came on with the worst sunglasses ever. As I got older, I actually prefer or I watched the 30 for 30 about Ric Flair, and I thought it was interesting about even if he was set to lose a match, he would make sure that it was the best match that anyone came to see, and he made the winner again exalt and look like a hero, and he put on the best match, and knowing he was set to lose. I thought that was a fantastic show of generalship and gentleman in him.
Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of this past WrestleMania with Sasha Banks, because WrestleMania was 2 nights, and her and Bianca Belair, they main evented night 1. And not only did they main event, these were 2 Black women who were getting a title shot at WrestleMania, which has not happened before. And after the end of the match, Bianca ended up taking the title from Sasha, but there was like a small video clip where Sasha's on the outside, on the ground towards the barricade and everything. She's kind of holding her side because Bianca whipped her with her hair. But she's like smiling. She has that unbelievable grin on her face. It's like, we just did that. And it's like, I'm sitting here, still don't have a WrestleMania win under my record and everything, but we just did that.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, we sealed the entertainment side of it for everybody. Yeah.
Charlotte did something similar. There was 2 instances. There was behind the scenes photos from the non-audience WrestleMania from the pandemic with her hugging Rhea Ripley. That was released. And at WrestleMania 35, you can actually see when she's covering her mouth, she's actually smiling when Becky won the titles. Like, she was laughing and smiling, but she did a better job at concealing it.
But the thing is, though, is if everybody doesn't do their part and it doesn't go right, if everybody isn't good at what they're doing, then it doesn't work. So if you don't take the pride in doing that part of it and being able to say, like you said, we did this because you did. It couldn't happen one way. So, it's pretty amazing that they, the quality that happens in all of that, actually. So.
Oh, definitely. When you look at, like, especially in the women's wrestling, you do have Becky Lynch that will not break kayfabe to save her life. She will stay in character no matter what. But it's funny to me, like, that you'll see when they do candid pics where her hugging everybody, or just being who she is, which is Rebecca Quinn. And so it's beautiful to see, like, that she can actually break away from that awesome character that she's created. But, like, when people talk about Charlotte and when she breaks away from her character, it's like completely different. And as somebody who has met both Becky and Charlotte, their characters, when you meet them, is not what they are in the ring. Like, they are two of the most humblest women you'll ever meet. I mean, getting to meet the daughter of Ric Flair was starstruck enough because, again, Rick was a big part of my childhood. And I got to thank her for letting her dad into my life. And so, and sweetest, every bad thing that anybody's ever said about Charlotte Flair, I want to smack in the face, because that's not who she is. And I have not met, let me take that back. I've met a couple that are kind of dickish that I would give a second chance to, one that I won't. And the rest have always been completely and utterly humbled with meeting the fans. But the two girls already know which one I will never give a fucking second chance to.
But listen, is that not a testament to her, though? Is that not a testament to how good you are when somebody hates you and talks that bad about you? Because that means you've done your job right. I mean, you literally pulled your character off to the point of it being that believable that you get these people who are so insanely on you because they believe that's who you are. That's what you really are like. I mean, that's a testament to how good you are. Liam, are you not a wrestling fan too?
I was like a wrestling fan a lot growing up, and then like ever more recently, I'm like more of just like an AEW fan. But I will always watch like the main pay-per-views for WWE. I grew up like the first thing I ever watched was the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite thing in the world as far as gimmick matches are concerned. So I watch that every year. I'll always watch WrestleMania, but I stick to AEW, which is what's on right now.
Okay. So that's a great. So can I segue real quick, because this was my other question while Liam just brought up AEW real quick for the ladies, and because I thought about it and then I read about it and it kind of came together. Does AEW have the feel of WCW when it was beating WWE on weekly shows?
What do you think, Kayla?
It could go either way, really. But I don't think it was quite as hardcore, really, as WCW. But it could go either way. I mean, depending how you look at it.
Okay,
yeah, I'm gonna refer to these two on that because I never really, because Kayla started watching a little bit after me and everything, but it's just like I still haven't like watched a whole lot of
I've seen commercials with John Moxley. I and Drew McIntyre's apparently WWE's like guy. He's their star. I've heard of Randy Orton because of the older days, but as far as I've heard of Colby Rhodes, I've heard of obviously Chris Jericho from the older days, but those are AEW guys. I mean, they're pushing Moxley out there hard. And I'm just like, that kind of reminds me of what, when WCW used to have the wars, and the shift was happening, you kind of sat there and with your remote in your hands, with the commercials, flipping back and forth going, well, which one am I going to stick with? I remember that as a kid, I'd get my popcorn. I really would. I'd have my mom get popcorn and she'd be like, well, aren't you going to watch one? I'm like, WCW's starting to get good, Mom. Like, I was really excited,
Okay, so hold on. For people like me who are very novice at this, right? I wanted to try to make it seem like a different kind of sport. So tell me this: is there like a major league? Is one of them like the top where you are the best of the best go, and then maybe there's a minor league?
Okay,
minor league.
So the war between AEW and WWE was basically brought upon by the fact that they decided long before AEW was even conceived to put NXT onto USA because Fox was bought SmackDown. So, and USA and NBC Universal wanted another TV show. They wanted to bring it off the network. They wanted to televise NXT, which was great. But that's the minor leagues. NXT will always be considered the minor leagues, even though they put on a better product than anything else. For AEW to say they actually won a war is complete and utter bullshit, to the fact that let them go head to head with SmackDown. They didn't even have the balls to do that. No, they had to go on at 10 p.m. after SmackDown. After you had that awesome confrontation between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio and the Uso brothers. And then you close out with a very pissed off Roman Reigns. So now Intrigue TV is like, well, fuck, I can't wait for next Friday. Like, what the fuck is going to happen? Is he going to break up the Usos? Now, don't get me wrong. It does have the feel, but it's not there until they actually put on a show that goes against the likes of Raw, that goes against the likes of SmackDown, who, in all honesty, both ratings have gone up. But yes, right now it is kind of stagnant. They're waiting for live shows. They're waiting to change the direction the shows are going once they hit live audiences again, because that's when you bring back your Sasha Banks. That's when you bring Jeff Hardy's No More Words intro. That's when you bring back everything that made...
So it doesn't work the same unless there's an audience there, right? It's one of those things, kind of like you couldn't do a Broadway play on TV. You can, but
yes,
you're better if you're there, right? Because it's the performance, it's the crowd, it's the everything, right?
It's a little bit of a different feel to it and everything, because it's like when they first started doing shows, like when the pandemic started, they started doing WWE started doing shows in the Performance Center with no audience or anything. And it's like, yeah, a lot of the time, any wrestler, depending on no matter what brand or promotion they're with and everything, a lot of the times they do feed off the audience. And so when they transitioned over to the Thunderdome, WWE did and everything, it definitely brought a little bit more of a feel to it, but everything's not going to be the same. You could tell at WrestleMania when this was the first time that they had fans in over a year. It's like they really started getting that feeling back. And yeah, it's just like when July hits, when they start hitting the road again, it's just going to be unbelievable.
Like what Kat said, the wrestlers do feed off the audience. Like John Cena, you always hear Cena sucks. He loved that. They were saying he sucked.
I love that too.
Yeah, even though they said he sucked, he fed off of it. Like, it gave him more motivation to be who he was. So, like we said, basically, we could tolerate it without the audience, but audience for a wrestling event is definitely there, because they base off. I think Roman likes his boos right now. Him and Roman and Seth are both getting booed like crazy now. They live off of that. I think that's what motivates them.
Right.
You guys should have seen me in the schoolyard. I used to crush boos. I read your article. I read the one article because I wanted to see. It intrigued me that the tag teams, right? Because tag teams are really a lifeblood of any type of system. Then whichever one's better, they split off and stuff. And I was upset because the one tag team I couldn't remember, and then I looked them up because I was really upset. The Rockers didn't make the list. And that's not on you guys. I'm just saying you guys took, and I'm sure you've heard some flack about that before. And how about the other guys that were really good too? They weren't particularly eye-pleasing, but Brian Knobbs and Jerry Skaggs, the Nasty Boys, they were a good tag team. They had the big mohawks. I thought they were cool. They didn't make the list, but those were the only.
If we could do a top 100, it would have been like a lot of those guys would have been put in there. But you have to understand, like this came from like a lot of these people weren't that generation. for me, like the Rockers, they were great and all, but like I felt that it was just something that held Shawn Michaels back, and you know, I did one of the reasons why I didn't name it in my like for my part of it. But like when I think of tag teams, my mind goes to the 90s with DX. Even though that was more of a stable, but the Rock and Sock Connection, Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, those were your core tag teams. Like those are the tag teams that brought people in. The Road Warriors, that was like one of the, even though like you want to talk about not pleasing looking, those guys were definitely not pleasing looking. But like, you know, that's, you know, I mean, what was that one? What was fucking...
The Bushwhackers were there, though.
Bushwhackers, yes.
The Bushwhackers were there. So I was like, all right.
The ugliest sons of bitches I've ever seen in my life.
Bushwhackers. Come on. Now.
They were licking each other's heads and stuff. My mom used to walk by going, are they licking each other's heads? I'm like, yeah, they're great. I don't know. They're Bushwhackers. That's what Bushwhackers do. I was 12. I didn't know anything.
That was compliments of Mr. KC from the wrestling department that brought the Bushwhackers up.
Only KC was.
He's getting an email from me. I love that he put him in there.
Liam, you're awful quiet, man.
Hey, I'm letting people talk.
Okay. So I got another question then. What is the indie wrestling? Like, how is that?
Indie wrestling to me is heart and soul.
Very.
Indie wrestling is people that want to make it to the big leagues, that know they might not ever make it to the big leagues, but you know what? They will wrestle in front of 30 fucking people because that's what they love to do. They will wrestle at carnival grounds. They will wrestle in backyards. They will wrestle in death matches. They will do whatever it takes to get their product across. One of the biggest spectacles in all of sports entertainment is WrestleMania. And during that week, you have some of the greatest indie shows known to man going on at the time. Yes, you will have shows literally from sun up to sundown. Some will go until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Indie shows is the lifeblood of the entire wrestling country. I mean, you've got so many of these young starts that will actually eventually do get up to the main. I mean, MVP worked in CCW down in Florida. You have guys like Booker T, who came from Houston. You got Thunder Rosa, who opened up her own promotion to get women's wrestling out there. And she is big in NWA. So
the local, my local VFW that over here that does these like every Thursday night, I think they got the wrestling that they put on a show. That would be the indie wrestling then.
That's indie shows.
Yep. Doing their local shows, trying to get out there to do whatever they can.
Exactly. And it's like one thing that's blown my mind since we started doing this podcast is we started like getting into knowing more and more about the indie scene and everything. One of our actually the very first wrestler we had on, his name was D-Rogue. He's originally from Tampa, but he wrestles out west and everything. And it was funny, a couple weeks ago, we had this married couple, Casey Catala and her husband, Brandon Kirk. Both are indie wrestlers. We talked about their experiences and when they went to Tampa for WrestleMania weekend. Both of them said they took way too many shows. And because, especially with Brandon, because he does a lot of death matches and stuff. And yeah, it's hardcore times double.
Yeah, the word's in there.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
Double a regular hardcore match.
You're at the gas station filling up. You're like, honey, we got to get to our death match.
So if Liam there wants to become a wrestler, then that's what he does. And he goes to the. Okay, is that what you do? Maybe you go to one of those local matches and you find out the guy running it and say, hey.
Well, it's like you got to start with like some people start with like local wrestling schools, and then like the wrestling schools like Jolie said with Thunder Rosa and Mission Pro Wrestling. She also opened up a wrestling school in San Antonio called Pound Dojo, and one of the people that she does training there along with Jazz, who was in the WWE and everything. And so I've seen some of the people wrestle in the dojo and everything, and you've seen them in Mission Pro. And then it just kind of like it depends on where the scene local wise and stuff like that. But usually it's like wrestling schools and then filters over to promotions.
So, now, wasn't it the territories? Forgive me if I'm wrong. It all began in like the Kansas City territories with your Harley Races, your Bob Backlunds, your Funk. The Funk family were big in the territories, I believe. And McMahon used to basically, Vince, young Vince though, baby Vince. He was basically a scout for his father in the territories. And the territories have now become indie, right? They're everywhere now. It's not just little upstarts.
Yeah, no, that's definitely correct. Vince Jr. was definitely the scout for senior in the and all that, but territories weren't just the Midwest. You had the Heart Dungeon in Canada, like the Von Erichs. It wasn't just like you actually had like there's the Midwest, the Florida area. They had some schools up north. But where it all started was basically Deep South is where wrestling really originated from, was Deep South Wrestling, and the WCCW and NWA and Jim Crockett and the Crockett Cup and all that stuff. Yeah, so it was basically even though it was like many different organizations, many different territories, a lot of them interchanged and work with one another. Like there was one person, Piper. He would just said, like, when he was doing their on AE, they had that biography about him, and like he would not work in a specific territory because of the respect and love he had for those people. So like there's actually like a lot of respect, there's a lot of disrespect, and like if you respected the people that you worked for that got you there, like you would not work anywhere in the cities of that territory.
But wasn't it also true though that like in those territories, didn't your character kind of play its way out sometimes?
Yeah,
but who was it that I was seeing? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting it now. I just watched all those series. I believe they're on A&E. And for somebody who hasn't been into it since the days of Andre the Giant and such, I loved every one of those. I've probably watched some of those 2 or 3 times now when they've came on. I mean, those stories are great. The Steve Austin one was amazing to hear, and the reason why I bring that up is because of what you guys were talking about earlier. He actually talked about the times when he had to lose, when he had to do certain things that he may not have wanted to do, but he did it for the show. He did it for his progression, and those were wonderful though. But he did mention the fact that too sometimes you played yourself out when you were in someplace, especially if you're a villain. There wasn't didn't want to hang around too long. People took that real serious, and a lot of
they'd be throwing popcorn at you and stuff. Right?
You might get popcorn thrown at you. Yeah.
Oh no, things do get thrown at wrestling shows. At indie shows, they'll throw shit at you. That much I do know. Sometimes they'll come around the ring and take your popcorn from you. I actually have a picture of Becky Lynch taking popcorn from a fan and shoving it into Lacey Evans's mouth. And then she came around the ring, and me and my best friend were front row, and it was my best friend's birthday, like the weekend prior, but we got the tickets for her birthday. And she's like, "Did you tell her happy birthday?" Because she held a sign up saying it was my birthday. So Becky's yelling at Lacey to tell my best friend happy birthday. So like, I mean, that was a WWE live show, but live shows are kind of like indie shows in a sense that they get more fan interaction. Like they're more interactive with the fans than you see on a TV show. Indie, but like, believe me, I've watched the Piper one a couple times. I can only stomach Ultimate Warrior once because he was a hero of mine, and after what he had come out and said towards the LGBT community, I want nothing to do with him. He's a piece of shit, and I feel bad for his daughters that they are stuck with that legacy now.
Weren't there like a bunch of Ultimate Warriors, or is that a rumor though?
Just a rumor. There was just one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. You read rumors and stuff. I thought there were like 3 or 4 Ultimate Warriors.
Well, ladies, let's now put a switch to this, and let's take you into our world a little bit here. Do you guys watch? Have you guys watched any basketball?
Yes.
Do you guys
Yep.
do you guys know what's going on at all, Kayla? Huh? Come on now. I see that you don't know. Good. Then we're gonna start with her. We got this Dallas game and the Clippers going on right now. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit of reprieve because I'm gonna let Liam attack. What's going on over here, Liam? Are the Clippers just killing them right now?
Yeah, the Clippers are winning pretty big, actually. And you know
Yeah.
what's funny? I was gonna tell my friend that they were gonna win both on the road, but then I decided that I wasn't gonna say such a stupid thing to say, and now it's gonna end up happening, and I was gonna be right.
That's incredible. Okay, see now he gave you a little bit to go off of, Kayla. What do you think about the Clippers and Dallas?
I am really seriously lost for words when it comes to basketball.
Where's the Texas girl up there? What do you got? How do you feel about Dallas?
Well, normally when it comes to like Texas, the whole Houston Dallas thing, we have our rivalry and stuff like that. But in this particular case, it's like I have issues. I'm not a big Kawhi fan and everything, so I have been rooting for Dallas in this case. And it's like I love how they took the first 2 in LA and everything, but it's like they got to Dallas and everything switched. And I know that Luka's dealing with some kind of a neck strain, so I know that's not helping and everything. But hopefully the Mavs can like get it together and everything, because I would really prefer to see them move on in the playoffs and everything. I know like everyone's like wanting like the big like Clippers and Lakers showdown eventually, but that can kick rocks for all I care.
The Clippers, the Clippers are good on the road, and it's really interesting because the Clippers are good on the road and the Mavericks are bad at home. They haven't been really good at home all year. They go on the road and all of a sudden the Mavericks, you see a 3-game win streak, you bet them because they're at home and then they lose. That's how it's been all year. And the Clippers just, they're almost like your WWE heel. They get a couple boos in their way, right? And Kawhi Leonard becomes Kawhi Leonard again. Patrick Beverley's knocking somebody out when the referee's not looking. And all of a sudden, Luka's like, he punched me in the back of my neck.
See, it's
and
the
he's
same
got an
thing.
issue.
We got characters. There's characters in these games that you can follow, just like he was just saying right there. I mean, Patrick Beverley, he's your antagonistic guy that everybody wants to boo unless he's your guy,
I will say this though. I do have kind of a soft spot for Pat Beverley whenever he used to play here in Houston. So it's like I was kind of pissed when he was part of that big trade to get Chris Paul here to Houston. I was pissed about that. So I do have a bit of even though he's a bit of an idiot on the floor sometimes and everything.
Yeah, but that's because he was on your team. See, that's what I'm saying. If he's your guy, then you're gonna like him. But if he's not, then you're gonna hate him. Jolie, do you watch any other sport? Do you watch football? Of course.
I watch football, baseball, basketball, soccer.
No basketball.
I said basketball.
Oh,
I said baseball, basketball,
playoff basketball.
No, let me be correct. I watch college basketball because I prefer the heart and soul that the players play, because only about 10% of those people are going to play in the NBA. I will root for the Sixers if they're in the playoffs, which they are. So I will watch their games. I do watch hockey. Right now I'm rooting for the Vegas Knights because I've always respected that team ever since they came into the league. And a Phillies fan, Flyers fan. So and of course Eagles fan.
Well, the Phillies get Atlanta, right? They'll get Atlanta after Atlanta takes care of the Knicks.
Yeah, we'll get Atlanta, and then we'll beat Atlanta, and then bring on.
How are you going to stop Trey?
Who cares?
Get the referees off the court.
I could care less about stopping Trey. We're like, I guess if you think about the 5 best players in the series, I'd say we have 4 of them. So,
and actually we're playing the 5th one, Beal. Beal's one of the better players. He's better than Trey in my opinion.
I could agree with that. Russ and Beal poses more of a threat than any twosome the Hawks could for us.
So the Knicks are just that bad?
No, the Knicks like got to the playoffs playing hard. In the playoffs, everybody plays hard. So when you lack talent and you just played hard, well, then talent's going to beat you when the talent starts to play hard. The Hawks clearly have more talent than the Knicks.
Yeah, it's Randall and a bunch of players that aren't ready, right, Liam? I mean, that's
well, right now it's not even Randall; it's Derek.
Right, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right now Randall's not. I mean, where's your 40s, pal? None of them. Can you give me 10 rebounds? Oh, okay, not even 10 rebounds. Cool. All right, well, maybe we'll give you most improved next year again, and you won't be Mr. MVP.
See, two things, ladies, you're sure to get here. Once during the show, Liam's going to say something like that that'll blow your mind. You'll be like, "Wow, that's true, Liam. Wait, wow." and the other one is Jack is going to give you Jackisms. I call him Jackisms. He's gonna throw things at you that's going to put this and this together, and
I call him Neary's theories.
There you go. I love him, but
Sasha truth.
That's true.
Okay, I mean we can go with that too. So, ladies, I appreciate your guys' time. We have another thing here that we like to do, but first, I want you guys to have your moment too. If there's anything you want to ask us, since we brought you guys on here, so I'll let you have a shot at us. Okay, see, we got out of that one real quick and easy, guys.
Okay, all right. Well, hold on. Y'all were asking about now. I'm in a house divided because it's like I'm from Houston. My husband's originally from Boston. Luckily, Houston doesn't have a hockey team, so I've become a Bruins fan with him. So it's like, dude, what do y'all feel about like hockey? Any hockey fans?
I can watch playoff hockey, but my Flyers aren't in it. The Bruins are good, which makes me sad because I'm not a Boston guy, obviously. But
at least Pittsburgh's out of it.
Thank God.
Sidney Crybaby can go home and hug his pumps.
I'll tell you what, the thing that I think that's great about hockey is that you could turn on the TV and not know much about the players and know that you're going to get a good hard fought game. You know, that's the one thing, that the NBA during the regular season does lack. If there's a hockey game and you get the Minnesota Wild versus, the Anaheim Ducks, right? And they're just on TV, right? You're sitting there amongst a bunch of people and you don't know anything about the players. It's 1-1, it's 2-2, it's 3-2, it's 4. You get a good competitive game, like almost to the final buzzer. That's the one thing I don't know enough about hockey, but I know if it's on TV, I'm not going to be the guy complaining. And at the end of the second period, I'm rooting.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for a fight.
Yeah, we're always going to see one of those, right? For me, it was a little bit almost a similar story to you guys in wrestling. For me, it was my mom, weirdly enough. She took me to hockey games when I was real little because now we're going to talk about showing age here, but at the time they would do a hockey game, then there would be a concert afterwards. And it was so you got like this 2-for-1, right? And they would clear the ice off and then put up a stage, and so you'd have like an hour in between, and then a concert would break out. So my mom would take me to those, so I would get a little hockey, she would get a concert, and that's how I kind of got into the game. I followed the Colorado Rockies for a while, but when I left Colorado, I kind of when I moved down here to Florida, there's not much hockey going on. I mean, we do have a couple of teams, but so I kind of left that alone. I go to the semi-pro hockey here sometimes. We got a guy who I get tickets from all the time and kind of hands them out. So there'll be sometimes I'll go to the minor league ones, which just like Jack said, the minor league ones are as good as the major league ones. You're going to get a good match, good game every time you go see something like that, and you will always get a fight, Jolie. It doesn't matter where, because that's the best part of hockey, right? Is they got a guy whose sole job, something's going on. Hey, guy, go. His whole job is to go out there and hit somebody. Like you cannot not love that, right?
Oh, definitely. But how can you say that Florida is not a hockey town when Tampa Bay just won the Stanley Cup last year?
Yeah, I know, but did anybody remember that? Did anybody in Tampa remember? Like,
Actually, yes, they did.
Because Tampa's a great sports town right now, isn't it? You got the Lightning, you got the Rays, you've got what's that other team in Tampa?
They won it all.
Bucks.
The Brady's. I mean, the Bucks.
Brady's.
God, I almost forgot.
The entire freaking Super Bowl, all I heard was the Lightning won this Stanley Cup. The Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Oh, let's watch the weekend play. Oh, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup. We're watching football. For fuck's sake.
Oh man, it's like my mom. Whenever we had the Arrows here in Houston, it was like the IHL and stuff like that. It's like, it's like all of a sudden she started liking hockey and everything. My dad could never figure it out, and it's like once I started watching the Bruins and everything with my husband, and I was just like, okay, I get when my mom liked hockey. This is like fantastic.
Yeah, it does, especially playoff time.
Florida Panthers are good this year.
There's not a lot like playoff hockey. It's pretty good. Again, I want to thank you guys. We got a thing here that we do at the end. It's called the last word. All right, we go around and we give everybody your last shot, your last word, something to say. Since you guys are the guest, we're going to let you guys kick off the last word. So, Kat, why don't you go ahead and give us something to leave off?
First
it
of
could
all,
be anything. Say whatever you want.
All right. Thanks for having us on. Right now, it's hard to be a little bit of a Houston fan because of how bad the Rockets were this year, and what the hell's going on with the Texans. I have no idea. It's like, luckily I'm my Astros. I won't say too much because Jolie gives me shit all the time.
Cheaters!
Shut up!
Bang the trash cans.
But either ways, it's like, but yeah, it's like having a household divided is always fun for me.
Love it. Kayla?
First of all, it was fun hanging out with you all. Finally get to see what you guys look face to face. I've been working with you guys for, a year. So it's been fun. And I just want to say, other than wrestling, I do love football. I am a big Clemson Tigers fan and Carolina Panthers fan. Yeah. So hopefully they have good seasons this year. And I'll keep my fingers crossed. And
Panthers got that quarterback now.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully we'll do something this year.
Yep. Miss Jolie?
Again, thank you. Reiterating everything that they said. Awesome seeing what you guys look like. Seeing that there's another Philly fan on the panel. Always a great thing to see. But I'm not just a wrestling nerd. I am a pop culture nerd. EDF's pop culture site will be doing the entire month of June for Pride, putting out a lot of different things. I already gave the list to Kayla to do, so keep an eye out for that. And y'all ever want to shoot the shit again? I'm game.
All right, we will. Liam?
I'm gonna make mine a wrestling last word. You know what sells me on wrestling? I don't even care about what people do in the ring. I love a good promo, and I feel like throughout my life, promo game has just, died. But I am very happy with the emergence of MJF. I think he's the best promo since CM Punk, and I love his crazy banters. His State of the Industry address from what was that, when he wrestled Moxley? I think it was All Out, I want to say, or was it Full Gear? I'm sorry, whatever one of them was.
One of them.
That promo is like the coolest thing I ever watched live, like besides the pipe bomb. And I love a great promo.
All right, Jack.
First of all, thanks for hanging out with the ladies. This was fun. I learned a little bit more about today's wrestling. As a kid, I did mention that I did love Hulk Hogan. I even had one of those Hulk Hogan dolls and stuff like that. That's why I wore yellow. I dedicated my night to a little bit of reliving my childhood. It is Memorial Day weekend, and I thought it was smart to bring up the fact that Hulk Hogan's theme song was "I Am a Real American."
So are you saying, Jack, that you are too?
Well, I'm here.
You're wearing yellow. It's Memorial Day weekend. Just say it. You're American too.
I am an American too.
All right. Well, for me, I'm going to go on a rant real quick about the NBA and the state of affairs that it's in. I believe the NBA needs to do something quickly to change itself, to change its reputation, to change its play. They talk about getting a tournament put in the middle of the season that they're going to do. I don't think that's it. That's not, but that shows me that they think the same way I do. They know they have to do something to change. It's becoming, and please don't take this wrong, ladies, but it's becoming just like wrestling. Okay, the scripts are there. It's set up. We already know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, some of the things that go on. So if we're going to go that way, that's fine. Let's do it. Because again, we're all in for the entertainment and all that. So, but don't try to jack with us. Don't mess with us like you're doing. So they need to do something to change. The NBA does. The ratings show that I'm right. The NBA is doing what they're doing and thinking what they're doing shows I'm right. It needs to be done. Get it done, NBA. Lastly, thank you, ladies, once again. It was nice to see you guys all. It was nice to have you guys here. I love what you guys do. Just know that. I think you guys are great at what you do. Your show is funny. It's and this has to go towards you, I guess, more Zoe. It's so professionally done that.
Thank you.
I mean, I can't say that enough. You guys have done a wonderful, wonderful job. And it was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to get you guys more. I wanted to get you guys on here too with us. We're trying to steal some of your thunder in case you didn't notice. See, come on.
I knew there was something. I'm just kidding.
That's it. See, it was ulterior motives.
Wait till we start streaming.
Oh, okay. Well, see, we're gonna bust into some of those then, and we're gonna no. But I do appreciate it, and again, thank you, girls, because it was you guys are good. You're good at what you do, and I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There it is, right there. Get your start. Go ahead and say it. Where can they get some merchandise? Where can they look at you guys? Find you.
Okay, well, if you go to our website, Queen's Takeover Podcast, we do have 2 links for stores up there. One is our store on Pro Wrestling Tees, and this is one of the shirts that's on there. It represents all 3 of our states. And then the other site we have is on Spreadshirt. That actually has multiple types of merchandise: shirts, hats, cups. Starting June 1st, we are dropping a new design in honor of Pride Month. And all for the month of June, all the proceeds from that will be going towards Trevor Project.
All right.
So I will drop we'll drop the link on that Tuesday afternoon on our Twitter page at QT Bowdown.
All right, great. Again, thank you. Everybody go visit that. Everybody check out the show. Thank you guys all for coming to us. This is sponsored by EDF Sports, theeverydayfan.com, where each and every one of us there's got content on there that we write. Please come and check us all out. It's great. You guys will learn anything you can about wrestling. Trust me, it's the best wrestling department on the web. And we thank you guys for coming. We thank everything you do. Guys, you know how much I love you. Thanks for coming in. And we'll see you guys all again. Thank you.
Go Blazers.
All right. Thanks for having me.